Alright, welcome to the show. Jen sits down. We're here on some November day. It's probably like 15th or 16th. Talking, well, from what I've been taught, 2022. Brandon area, Florida, Tampa Bay. Same spot as yesterday. It's typically a good thing. Man, sometimes, I got a lot I want to cover. Oh, so no, maybe it's the 17th. Did I start right? I know I told you I don't have an agenda, but I mean I do. But like my agenda is to share truth and knowledge. That's all I ever have done my whole life, and it's gotten me a hard way to go every time. And people can't handle the truth, and that's what blows me. For example, like this morning, I give this guy a ride, and man, all right. So like, I'm sitting outside the Wawa, and it's like 7 a.m. You know what? I look for work. Somebody's got work. All right, hey, man. This guy approached me. Hey, you want to make some money? So I said, fuck yeah, I want to make some money. Shit, you know. So, uh, he's like, well, I was gonna get to work, man. I got $10 for gas. I said, man, dude. Like, where are you gonna go to work? All right. Use a few gallons of gas, man. If I can get him there at 1 gallon, I'll make a gallon and a half, whatever it'll take, 25, 30 minutes. Hopefully. So I check, he goes to work 8 miles away where he said he'd work. So we go there, and he don't get out, he don't go and work. We wind up going to a hotel instead. He tries to roll me around. I'm like, all right, man, what the fuck's going on here, man? So we pull over to the gas station. Like, he gave me the $10 up front. I put it in my center console, which was cool. Anybody dicks anybody around, whatever, man. Like me, hey, I had to move a bunch of shit out of my front seat into my back seat just to make room for the guy. So he gives you the $10. We start going there. So instead, we go to a hotel instead. It goes inside for like 20 fucking minutes. Then it comes out. So obviously everybody knows what it is at this point. I'm like, all right, man. That was after. So after driving around for a little bit, I took him to like relative area of his work, and I'm like, all right, man, what's the deal? Because every time I put his work in my GPS, I'm like, yeah, I bet, man, where you work? Put him in GPS, and going out to Ybor City, all right, man. So 8 miles there, 8 miles back to Brandon. All right, dude, fine. Because at rush hour. I don't know, but we get to his work, and you don't get out to go to work. So I don't know what his deal was. I don't know if he lied or he actually had a job, just said fuck it anyway, and because he had a ride, he was going to make more money somewhere else with my hands and my whip. So, well, he thought anyway. He thought. I mean, I don't know how it panned out. I mean, for all I know. But anyway, so we go there. I make him pump me $10 in gas, and I keep his $10. And I put it in my pocket, the original $10. I'm like, all right, fuck you, man. I've done enough work. I've earned this. I'm taking out the center console just in case you thought you were just gonna, well, just whatever, man. This shit's going in my pocket. It's all the money I got, dude. Literally, $10 is all I fucking got. It's down at 5 now. And yeah, so I broke even. I was with this guy for like fucking three and a half, 4 hours this morning, from 7 and now whatever time it is, probably around noon. I finally get back to my little part of the world I like to hang out in, man, I just go there, I thought a guy had a job for me or something like that. No, dude, he's gonna go use me to make a bunch of drug deals like I'm a fucking idiot. So he puts the $10 in there, and I didn't really have a problem. I wouldn't even ask no more questions. He would just put some more money in my fucking hand, and that was what blew me. So this guy wants to get all argumentative and shit, because I'm asking simple questions, like, all right, man, we're doing. And then meanwhile, I was on his phone pretending like he's trying to get pussy and shit, and like that. And I'm like, yeah, right, man. Dude, if we go to another hotel, it's gonna be an automatic $100. All right, so I didn't tell him that part. No, yeah, because I was gonna see what the fuck this guy's on, right? Is he's gonna be straight up about his shit or what? Because already after so he puts the $10 and I get my $10, right? I take him to a hotel and I'm like, all right, well, so where to next? And kept giving me the runaround. Didn't want me to use my GPS. Didn't want to give me a location. He wanted to be pointing around, go here, go there, go there. And meanwhile, we're sitting in traffic. It's still like rush hour morning. Everybody's going to work, fucking school, and blah blah blah, whatever, hobby shit like that. It's Florida, so the retired people wake up and they've been up since 5, 6, man. Yeah, they're gonna come out to Wawa and go get a coffee and sit there. Like, yeah, that's gonna happen. So they're burning fuel like a mofo. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm at like the break-even point here. Like, this is just costing me my time, and now I'm 12 miles away from where I need to be. Well, hell, he's gonna start getting argumentative and yelling and screaming like that's gonna intimidate me. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you want to get all woo wop foo fop in my fucking truck, man? What the fuck you thinking, man? So basically, like, I mean, what I should have done was probably like hopped on the interstate and drove like 10 miles, fucking, and just any either. I should have hopped on the interstate and drove to the fucking the bridge, one of the bridges around here, and just said, fuck it, man, it's a wash, right? Like, but you know, whatever. I didn't. I dropped off. So if this is his stomping ground, he's still a good, like, I don't know. He's gonna have a good 7-8 mile hike back here. He's like, oh, no problem. I'll just go get a lift or something. I'm like, yeah, you do that, man. You see when it costs you 45 fucking bucks, and all you had to do is like slap another 20 in my hand, man. Like, hey, what's going on? But he wanted to like say like, you know, like. He thought he was just gonna get belligerent, and I was gonna be like, oh, you know, like, what the fuck are you thinking, man? What are you thinking? That shit blows me when people try me like that. Like, what the fuck? Why do we let people like that in our communities that do shit like that? You know, this guy's gonna be out hustling every morning and fucking like look at a white guy and be like, oh yeah, I get down. Actually look at me like a white boy, right? Like, oh yeah, I'll get down on this motherfucker. Like, yeah, sure, dude. Like, right. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? So I had to like leave this guy on the side of the fucking road with probably $1,000 worth of crack in his fucking pocket or something stupid like that. I don't know. But I assume like, hey man, you're making money. Like, all right, dude, bet. Like, what? But you know, you think you're gonna break me off some crumbs or something? I'm gonna be like, all right, cool. I told him everything too, man. Look, I'm living on the streets. I got $2 to my name. I can barely do my laundry. Okay, so if you're thinking you're gonna fuck me over, man, and like screw me out of 1 fucking red cent of gas, you're gonna be in for a fucking rude awakening. So try me. And he did. And he fucking did, man. And every time I kept saying, all right, man, all right. He kept saying, oh, you just gotta have faith, man. Just trust me. Just have faith. Like, why the fuck would I do that, man? Like, you got the money in your pocket. Well, trust me then as the driver. Because I already took him to the hotel and I waited for him. All right, so he went in the hotel and he's like, man, you gonna wait for me? I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll wait for you, man. Because I already knew I was gonna pull up to the hotel. And he's like, yeah, like, at that point I could have just spun off, whatever. I said, yeah, man, I'll wait for you. So, what, did he think that I was like just some total fucking idiot? You know, I started asking questions like, where's the next destination, man? Where are we going? Oh, go here. Go. Like, I'm trying to like put some like, this like a racetrack. I'm like, all right, dude, like, look, before you figure out what your next move is, let's go to a gas station. Let's go to a gas station so I can pick up some dip. You know, let me get some dip. I eat tobacco. I don't smoke it anymore. I mean, I do. Like, if I see a half fucking sniper on the ground, man, like, I'm gonna pick it up. Well, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna pick it up and smoke it, dude. I don't even give a fuck what anybody says or thinks, dude. Like, whatever, man. I don't care. I'm gonna smoke that motherfucking thing. I'm addicted to it. I don't buy them no more, but Jesus. So, it looks like I have boobies. So, yeah, so anyway, like, yeah, I buy my dip. Yeah, I gotta show you, I'm plugging no products, but. Yeah, I do. I eat it. I swallow it too. I don't spit shit out. I only do a little tin. Like, so what? One little tin lasts me, like 10 days. So so I get to Copenhagen, it's good, but I like to, every now and then I get the wrong thing, or I just money. Money, I get the cheap shit, and then when you think you're getting original, they give you straight, which is shit with molasses in it, and it's all fucking sweet and whatever. Anyway, I eat it. I don't smoke. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about lottery tickets and cigarettes and tax revenue. That's going to be part of today's show. But I gotta get this off my chest first. How this guy just tried to utterly fucking use me this morning like I'm some straight fucking Vic. Like, what the fuck, man? Where do these people fucking... Like, what? You think just because I'm a white guy and you're black, I'm gonna think you're all G'd out? Dude, I'm gonna fucking rock your shit, dude. I will rock your shit. I've got stabbed. I got shot. Like, man, I live in the city. Live on the streets right now, man. Like, come on. What the fuck are you thinking? What are you thinking? I don't like leaving people on the side of the road because I feel like I broke my word. Like, but at the same time, it was like, it got to the point where it's like, hey, I honored my word, and now I can see that you got something else going on, and I'm willing to participate and not ask too many fucking questions. You just pay me, and you won't fucking pay me. You think you're gonna get all belligerent in my truck, and then fucking suddenly like, oh, I'm just gonna like cave, or you're gonna say some phrases to me, wave your hands around, and I'm gonna be like, oh, yeah, sure, yes, sir. Are you fucking out of your mind? I swallow most of it. Like, what the fuck is you thinking? What the fuck is you thinking, man? Yeah. But you want to like spend y'all watch too many fucking movies. First of all right. Secondly, like you've been in too many prisons where you just go to a prison where you're just with all black people. Like, what the fuck then, man? You know, and then you get white boy, man. You know, when you meet the white boy that's been in the prison where it's all black people, the white boy, and that then turns into the white guy, then turns into the white man, who's also gone to the all black high school, and and the all black elementary school. Man, you better bet I'm gonna use the fucking N-word, and it's gonna be in the right context, and you're gonna go fly off the fucking handle, and I'm gonna smack you in your fucking face. Okay? Sorry. I don't care anymore. I've earned that fucking right. Want to disagree with me? Come show me. Come show me I'm a bitch, man. Because you ain't finna get down on me in that fucking way in my fucking car. Ain't no fucking way. Like, have you in my car and then let me find out you think I'm some bitch and you can get down on me after I tell you the stories? Like, you should have just taken what I said at face fucking value, man. What I told you about myself. You didn't want to believe it and you want to sit there in denial. Now your ass got an 8 fucking mile walk. Hey. Whatever. So, next time some fucking guy approaches me 7 in the morning, wow, that was a credible thing, man. Hey, you want to make some money? I thought he had a job. For me. Like, you know, let me go paint some shit and make $100. You know, like, hey, you know, like, or climb on a roof and sweep some shit or whatever, man. Like, or hey, man, maybe just make a couple moves, dude, and be discreet about it. Yeah, I can do that too. But because people want to like be like, man, have a mouth on them and fucking. I mean, this guy yelled at the top of his lungs in my fucking vehicle. Oh, fucking, man. That's all I hear, man. I'm sorry. That's all I hear. Woo wop foo fop. Hate to say it, but there's a woo wop foo wop woo wop wop. Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. Get the fuck on. But anyway, I think this is. Okay, yeah, this is today's show. I didn't do it. So, I got to think of two shows. So, you'll see me tomorrow, at least, you guys. You'll see me tomorrow. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. We want to talk about. Let's talk about vehicles. Let's talk about like a lot how they make them look like bugs. Like your vehicle. Like I mean, it's Japanese. Yeah, I get that. I don't know why we're taught that. You know, like to think that way. But whatever. I think Japanese. Oh yeah. I guess I could see that. Like yeah, it looks insectoid. That's Japanese, right? They're Toyota, well, more Lexus than Toyota. Toyota is more kind of, you know, they want to be more American flavor, but the Lexus is definitely more buggish. I mean, same company and everything, but the Toyota's built here. We like them here, like Kentucky. You know, they got factories here. You know, you want to help an American family, man. Buy a fucking Toyota Corolla, dude. It'll keep our gas prices cheap, and some Americans out there in Kentucky building it. So, just to let you know, if you didn't. Like, so why does our vehicles look the way they do? You know, like, so my feeling is it's like, I haven't really like told you giving you the skinny on the full shebang, the full Monty here about what I found out about the world. It's man, I don't want to like there's time zones, okay? There are time zones on our planet, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of like the movie Snowpiercer. It's like a giant train that goes around the whole world, and on each little cart of the train, it has like your own classes of people. Like it's got these people. They do, you know, you got your lower class, so you got the class that like had to like fight their way onto the train when it was leaving, when the fucking apocalypse was happening or whatever, you know, when the tripods came or whatever the fuck came, so whatever in that artist's rendition of, you know, what actually happens, or, you know, fictional representation or whatever the fuck, excuse me, okay. And like, so the first guys had gone, they had like sacrificed an arm, like to eat, just to keep them alive. And then before the people up front realized, holy shit, we got all these, you know, stowaways or whatever on board with us, fuck, we better start doing something to, you know, feed them, otherwise we're gonna keep having wars and shit. And so it's like this giant train, and this guy made this engine that's like, whatever you want to call it, perpetual motion, and it's something highly efficient that keeps fucking running, you know, probably runs on photons, you know, knowing our world, and how it's probably something that's freely available and free, and this guy's able to, you know, cart tens of thousands or millions of tons of steel all around the world on a railroad track. But it's metaphor, and it's metaphor for our society, and how things happen. And our society is growing so big now that like that on that, if it like you use that metaphor as the train, well the caboose has now the front of the train is chasing the caboose, and now it has to basically, they had to build like a new thing in front of the train while it was moving to eat the next fucking train, eat the caboose. So it's basically a snake eating itself. If you've ever seen that, the metaphor, you know, a snake fucking eating its own tail and it doesn't even know it. It's just, and that's the trick. That's what we gotta do. We gotta get this snake to stop eating the tail for everybody to wake up. Because societally we're like that, and we're taught that as well. We're taught that, but like sooner or later, it's gonna get to the point where like our way of life won't be supportable without completely destroying somebody else's. Which it pretty much already is if you're an American, man. You make all these consumer decisions, and we are so dissociated from all the like moving parts to deliver that bag of coffee to you, or that $4 Starbucks. You know, like there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot of hands there. But that to me is economy. And it's a good thing, and I believe those people want to grow coffee beans and sell them. I don't believe they want to work for some big, massive corporate company that like runs the mob in their town and fucking makes sure everybody goes to work for $1 a day and there's nobody handing out pamphlets like, look, man, this is how these motherfuckers in America live. Like, they can afford to pay us an extra fucking nickel, okay? Trust me, they can. Yeah, that guy gets fucking, you know, he digs his own grave. You know, unfortunately. Unless, you know, he keeps his mouth shut, plays by the rules for a little bit, then starts here and there, and then kind of comes up as an underdog. And I'll always support the underdog, man. Fuck yeah. Go for it, man. Go for it. So, it's like... So we have... So my theory on that, right, is so we have different parts of the world, or the same parts of the world, like, over time will become... they'll revert back. So basically, they want to say, like, if we ever go back to, like, fucking just, like, Indians or something, like, the guy that knows that, like, that car, like, you look at that car and you got window tint on, and if you don't see a human in it, you're going to think it's some fucking monster. You know? You'll just think it's some monster if you come from, like, some low level, like, you ain't never seen nothing like that before. Like, you can make a Ford, and, like, another human might look at it, despite, like, he's living in the rainforest, and he's not going to think it's some beast. But you take some of these newer cars, man, and you look at them, and like, so if, like, someone from, like, an ancient civilization, a different time zone, someone from a different time zone sees that fucking thing because somebody brought it there, okay? Because somebody brought it there. They're going to be afraid of it. They're not going to try to get in and then ask a million fucking questions. Be like, well, how come you have all this? And then, like, you know, and then, like, and that's what happens. And we see that story over and over again. We see it in the Bible. We see it in the historical record. Basically, you got a bunch of Egyptian, ancient Egypt. You know, you had the gods coming down. And the Greeks had their gods too. The gods of wine. Dionysius. Like, motherfucker was coming from a different time zone, man. Different time zone, probably in a time zone where wine is plentiful and cheap. And, you know, they're in this other time zone. I say, hey, man, like, well, let me get some women, or let me get this, or let me get that. I'll come and bring in the barrels, you know. And meanwhile, this guy's got, like, just stop by on the train on the other side of the mountain, you know. Like, and any other fucking ancient Egyptian or Greeks try to climb that mountain, dude, yeah, you're going to start feeling nauseous and puking your brains out because, like, you're finna go somewhere you ain't supposed to be. Okay? You feel me? Time zones, man. I know, but at this point, you can't look at the world and be like, alright, dude, what the fuck? Like, look at places like UC Berkeley. Just look at all the Ivy League schools and the billions of dollars they have. And you're telling me you can't get no students to fucking figure out a better fucking thing than a fucking internal combustion engine? Are you shitting me? Man, I could sit down right now. I went to school too, but look, I could sit down and draw on a piece of paper a basic fucking schematic of something that would provide free energy to everybody in this fucking world, alright? And I could do that in like 3 or 4 different ways, just within 15 minutes. A couple doodles on a fucking napkin could save humanity. And you're telling me we got all this money, and we got all these fucking people and these think tanks and all this other shit, and like, they haven't come up with this yet? And like, oh well, we got this American gangster fucking runaway politicians, and they won't do it. They won't do it because it's too profitable for big oil and blah blah blah. It's like, that's nonsense, man. There's nobody in there. It's like, hey man, dude, let's get 15 of us together. Let's go bring 5 people from industry that's got $1 billion. You know, they each hit them up for 100 million and be like, look, man, we're gonna pass these laws, and we want you to be involved in it. We're gonna directly subsidize you. We're gonna give you the property. We want you to build this for us as a country. We want this. We want you to build this for us, please, private industry, okay? Because we need this type of power plant. Because it makes sense. It makes sense. Doesn't make sense to set your world on fire to create steam when there's free fucking energy hitting you fucking, I mean, with the heat we got too, easy, man, easy. That's free energy. Easy money. Easy money. Go find the hottest fucking place on earth with the most fucking water, and then, man, just run that water into the fucking, into like through a channel into an irrigation in a fucking desert where the sand just takes all the heat, and then fucking heat that water up with something else. Possible, like I said, you ever make a pot of coffee going camping with a magnifying glass? Like, where the fuck's Bear Grylls? Like, even that guy would get this, you know? I mean, come on. Where the fuck are you, Bear Grylls? Like, why aren't you saying this shit? How come you don't use technology like that? It's a magnifying glass. This guy's sitting there like, man, you can't get a collapsible fucking metal cup in a magnifying glass. You know, he's got a little plastic bottle he found, like, over in Africa. He's got this little plastic bottle. Oh, it's my lucky day. And then he's sitting there, like, getting this shit water out of it. And it's like, why is that water even shitty, man? Like, it shouldn't be all fucked up like that. But, I mean, he's pulling it out of like a mucky puddle. Okay, yeah, I get that. Like, yeah, the local water. But, man, this water is so plentiful, man. There are rivers in this whole world. You should just be able to drink out of anything, man. Anything. You could just drink that water. There's a pond over there. I drink it. I didn't die. I didn't die. We're very hardy. You know, like, man, it's real hard to fuck with a human being. And we've earned our right to be on this planet, okay? We've earned our right. Through sickness and survival, because we fucking made it. So we're about the toughest fucking things around. And now someone's coming in here and fucking with us, or we find out it was all a sham anyway. And now we live in this paradigm where it's like, oh, well, you can believe in God, you can believe in demons. Most people are go to the alien route. Like, if I went and did a survey on the streets, 9 times out of 10, most people believe in something external, okay, a higher power, higher intelligence. People definitely believe in aliens. A lot of people believe in ancient aliens. I mean, it's on your History Channel. Like, yeah, it sounds a little, you know, they kind of keep it a little kind of spooky and everything, which is cool, man, because it's kind of like, whoa, dude, you know, right? Because, like, that's ain't what we've been taught. I've never had this kind, so this is... I'm spitting it. I told you as well. So I like to account for my words. Like, I'm very transparent. I'm very honest. And I don't. The most important thing to me is I don't fucking deceive. I hate deception. I see right fucking through it, and it tries my intelligence, and it pisses me off. So at this point in life, living in my truck, you know, with my vast education, somehow, some way, the whole world has worked against me to force me out and basically to boondock and live on public lands and document my experience to the extent that I can. I mean, I just talk about it, man. I love to, like, yeah, I go here and this is how you do it. But I need help doing that, man. I need help to do all that. All right, starting with some gas money. Tried to make some earlier this morning. Face palmed it, you know, like, jeez. With respect, man, with respect. So, trust me, I ain't everywhere close to being racist, man. I'll sleep with it don't matter, you know, I suck them toes. Damn, girl, let me see them toes. Like, alright, so, just saying. So the world's like this Snowpiercer place, or a Snowpiercer movie, where it's kind of like a train. It's a train, and we're in different time zones. And that was kind of my whole point about the AI. Like, we gotta, well, okay, well, first let me slow down. Let's slow down. Let's just say for example, the world has called our bluff as Americans. Or, like, let's just say you didn't want to believe 60, 70 million people disappeared due to the pandemic. Say you don't want to believe they got harvested somewhere. And so, because my feeling is, here's what I believe, okay? I believe that there's an externality. I believe we're at the end of time, okay? So we've already gathered up all the fucking water molecules in the universe. The whole universe, we've already did it, and we brought it all back here to one area, okay? Rather than trying to feed the light and go to sleep and blah, 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 and all this other shit. It's like, hey, man, it's more fun, make it more, less time consuming. Bring it all to one spot, okay? So it's already here. Everything. All the water, all the carbon, you know? Like, there's probably been, like, ancient galactic wars fought over one fucking molecule of water. I mean, one molecule. I could see the ancient king, you know, now. One molecule. That's what they would fight over. And we're over here just swimming in it, right? So, let's go. All right, so, but we can okay, so, and then we figured out, like, immortality. There's already immortality. You know, that's why we have these people teaching us this shit, you know, through the church. Hey, man, you do actually. Life is eternal. Swear to God, they say. Swear to God. Do you believe in God? Blah, blah, blah. And that's all hypno shit, too, man. I promise you that. Like, I gotta pick apart that Bible and show the real historical narrative and say, here, well, depending on what church you're at. Okay, because some churches are serving you up. They're serving you up to the gods. And there's other churches that are like, man, holy shit, we realize what's going on. But you know what, the Bible, what Jesus gave is very effective. And that's why they nailed that motherfucker to the cross, because he was good at what he did. You know, I'm going to talk about him and what his tactics were. Oh, God, you guys are going to love it. You're going to love the stories I ever did about Jesus, man. I love the man. Love the man. Love the man. You know, like... And then, but, you know, try to say, like, I pray to baby Jesus. Like my friend said, pray to baby Jesus. Okay. Yeah, he was less jaded by the world, like the baby version. I mean, they nailed the guy to a cross for the shit he was saying and the shit he was doing. Why? Oh, because the Romans couldn't afford for Christianity, blah, 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 and the pagans. No, there's overlap back then. There's overlap. They, you know, fucking care what these people believed in, who you conquered. I mean, fucking simplified it for the Romans. Like, oh, then, all right, we just got to get priests and, you know, make churches. Like, Jesus called everybody on all their bullshit. Just like me, man. That's what I do. I call fucking bullshit, shenanigans, whatever. Like, I'm calling shenanigans, guys. Like, sorry. So, I've been around. So basically, we're already at the end of time, and we already have these AI systems in place. Like, basically, the immortal humans, the ones that figured out how to live forever, they're up there on the fucking moon, man. They need our blood. They need our things out of our bodies. They harvest us. And they take our parts. Just kind of like how you hear about, like, oh, don't go to this certain part of Africa, man. They'll kill you and you'll wake up and your kidney's missing. Okay, did they really sell it on the black market medical market? Or is it like up there some motherfucker been living up in a space station for fucking 15,000 years? You know, what makes more sense? From what I witnessed in the world, it makes more sense that we're already at the end of time. There's people that want to live forever, and they need to harvest us to live forever and utilize our you know, that we got the same parts as them, or they grow us to have the same parts. Or I mean, I don't know, I haven't, you know, gone like that far down. You know, we're still waiting on some other people to fucking, you know, finish their projects and, you know, go knock on somebody's fucking door, if you know what I mean. Just like somebody already did about 50, 60 years ago. And then the world suddenly got all these nice fancy things. Like, we analogically, our computer, we had women in there fucking, like, making these calculations, and they were radioing that shit back up. They're radioing that shit back up to outer space. I'm saying, hey, okay, we got you on these calculations. We didn't have all this fancy shit where it's like, oh, we got signals and wireless signals and fucking, you know, like fucking, you know, get you, man. Like, it'll influence your thought. Or you like, you know, so if I want to say, hey Siri, so you got this all, so let's just say we hit singularity, right? We've already got singularity. Or let's just say some country already did it. Say they did it 30, 40 years ago. Because you can't really say that, like, man, I mean, I look at these cities in China, man, I'm like, how the fuck did you build that fast? Because it's like, well, if the Chinese built their cities like that, how come Chicago ain't like 4 times as big by now? Like, how come? Like, where all the cranes? Where are the excavators? It's like Ritchie Brothers in Florida. They're fucking hawking them. You know, that's all we do is, like, steal it back from each other and send it around. Like, we act like we're getting shit done, but we're really not. Okay? These cities, our cities should be fucking huge, massive, just like the Chinese cities, and they're not. We should have a lot of tall buildings, highly efficient, you know, like heat rises. I mean, it's pretty easy to heat a building. I mean, like, man, fucking hey, you want to just heat that whole fucking thing, insulate it well, and then put like 50,000 people in it. Yeah, everybody have a good time. Probably never have to leave. Like the whole idea of like cutting down a forest. And hell, man, you can even have trees growing in them buildings and like all kinds of, all the best biology, man. Like, how come we haven't cataloged all that shit and put all the best biology in these buildings? That instead of burning our fuel, I burn a gallon of gasoline. Like, on that 1 gallon of like what it took for oil for that 1 gallon of gasoline that I burned just to go like, you know, whatever on a round trip to the gas station or wherever. I could have like cups and spoons for the next like 8 years with that 1 gallon. Or I could have building material. I could build a panel that was 3D printed. And that panel, basically, if you keep it out of the sun and you put some wax on it or some armor all, man, like that thing will last fucking 30,000 years. So our most important molecule we have on our planet, we just light it right on fire, and that makes no sense to me. It makes no fucking sense at all right? And we're doing it, and we're getting paid to do it. And we're taught that life is like this race, and it's just the best thing in the world to be an American. It's like, yeah, that's because we destroy the most, so we get blessed the most. Like as if there's some externality that's working upon us that says, hey man, that fucking oil they got down there is very important to them, and they could, you know, between oil and glass, our plastic and our glass is the most important thing we have. I mean, glass, man. Make a big fucking magnifying glass and boil some water. Send it through a turbine and you got free energy, man. Fuck fucking solar panels, dude. Like, just make a big fucking magnifying glass. How hard is that? Why? I feel like they could have done that shit in the 50s. And like any fucking like engineering student could put that together, man. Like, you could go asking an engineer, hey man, could you boil water with a giant magnifying glass and then like turn turbines as it goes up, like build the turbine, the piping for up a mountain. Not on the north side, right? Okay, so where's that condenser? Oh, so yeah, so it goes up, turns the turbines, and then it goes down the, and then it condenses as it goes over the north side, turns into water, and as it goes down the water, it goes down a water wheel, you know, like fucking A, yeah, like there you go, and then the fucking water goes back down to the other side of the mountain into the pot, where it gets boiled by the magnifying glass again. Like, come on, man, it's so fucking easy, shit like that's so simple. Here you are. Here's electricity. Free. Every day. Every day there's sun, which are typically a lot of days there's sun. You know, so talk about putting that shit in Afghanistan. You got all that fucking sand. You make glass all day long. Some blast furnaces. Yeah. You're going to have to burn some shit. So instead, like the things that we do have our fuel source, we burn them to like keep our individual homes lit. And we pay some guy to deliver a pipe, to run a gas pipe into, you know, no, man, no. We got to learn how to live better and together. Not fucking, oh, I want to be like Jim and Bob over there. They got a $400,000 house with all this fancy shit in it. You know, it's like, oh, this is like fancy building materials that rot. Super expensive. Like, I won't say environmentally, futurely expensive. So in other words, like that building material that guy's got in his $400,000 home is going to deprive somebody 200 years from now of a way better life. And they say, wait, no, hold on, wait a second, because technology, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, the technology's here right now, asshole. So why don't you give up some of your fucking equity and invest in the right companies? Oh, I ain't got time to do that. Well, why the fuck not? You got fucking net worth of like 750 grand. What the fuck are you doing? You could be, if I had a net worth of 750 grand, man, I could sit around for like the next 20 years. Literally, I live on like $500 a month, man. $500 a month. Less. And I could still do better. Why? Because I use my brain. So how the fuck is it that shit is possible? And why do we tolerate it? As just Americans, why do we tolerate it? Like, you got kids right now, man, you might want to start making some noise. Like, hey, man, this dude's right. Like, what the fuck? Not worry, I'm stuck here renting. You know? So, yeah. No. Let's build these big ass power plants, these windmills, shit that's gonna last. You could put a team of engineers in the room and say, hey, how can we use all the right building materials with all the right resistance coefficients and make something that's gonna last for 5,000 years, okay? Mostly, like, man, if I can reprint a fucking giant plastic fin, I build a big giant 3D printer the size of a football stadium. Actually, we already got football stadiums. Let's just take one and make one into a giant 3D printer. And all the oil we use to burn in gas every day for that city, instead chug it in there and say, look, I understand you guys have to stay, you know, in one location for a little bit, but everybody's going to get a free house, all right? Like, we're printing out building materials like fucking no tomorrow, man. We're printing them out. Yeah, it's going to be highly flammable, all right? Yes, there are other considerations, okay? You can't have a bunch of plastic houses or glass houses, and then you have rocks, and then you have fucking lighters and people smoking. What, you know, you feel, you get what I'm saying, though? Like, but we can figure that problem out. We got plenty of water, and education can solve that problem as well as community. You can't just have education and no community, man, because then people will they'll start looking around like sociopaths, start looking around at you like, who the fuck are all these people? Like, man, they'll start looking at you like, wow, man, you're basically my food. Like the guy that tried to get down on me today, like, man, like, $10, man, like, I was doing that guy a huge fucking favor, man. Because I'd stopped there at one point. I said, man, you want to put it in my phone and see how much it costs to Uber to where you're trying to go? You want to do that, man? You want to call a cab and see how much? You don't cough up the money and put in the fucking gas tank and shut the fuck up. Oh, so he's gonna get out of the car. I gave him the option. So instead of doing shit like that or having people like that in society, if we're a community, we'll quickly be able to identify those fucks. I call them shitbirds. You'll definitely be able to identify the shitbirds really quick, and then, man, just, hey, man, like, do what has to be done. You already know, dude. You already know. I ain't building you no fucking cage for you to be in so then you can, like, take over that fucking power structure and then find out the next weakest fucking person to get down on. Hell no, man. Like, you should get, like, what, like, I understand, like, human beings make mistakes, but when you live your lifestyle like that, like, you're not fucking human, man. You're not human. I don't believe you're human for a second. And I start asking you questions and you, like, simple yes or no questions, and you, like, about where are we going, and you get all belligerent. I know already, like, what the fuck are you, man? What are you? Because you ain't human. Any normal human being would be like, oh, I understand how you feel. If I was in your shoes, no problem, man. I'd feel the same exact fucking way. That guy ain't just some pile of shit. Like, that guy's not even human. Why is he sharing the earth with us? Why does he gotta fuck up my morning? Why does my show have to be late? Why do I have to break even and 3 hours of my time get eaten up? Oh, I should never let the guy in the car, but he's gonna get somebody else. So what do we do about it? We should do something about it. You know, call a policeman. They're gonna like be like, pfft, you know, come on, man, a police force. Those guys are the same fucking people, man, doing the same shit in a different way. Tell you, man, each cop, man, with the overtime they get, dude, they're making. Every cop you know makes 6 figures. I guarantee you. Especially municipal. I mean, if you're like, yeah, if you're a county cop out in fucking Mississippi, yeah, bro, like, you're probably volunteering. Like, I've, you know, but at the same time, I mean, a little bit of money goes a long way out there, and people are pretty smart out there, man. Something breaks, they fix it. They don't just go buy a new one. And, you know, you got to have brains to fix it. So you're with the smarter population, and, you know, and they like to make everybody in the South feel, but, man, it's the fucking smartest people in the world come out of there, man. Like, come the fuck on. You know who George Washington Carver is? Yeah, you think. Every time you eat some peanut butter, you say a prayer for George Washington Carver, okay? And every time you want to wear one of these, you say a prayer for Eli Whitney, alright? Them guys were geniuses. Geniuses. So I look at people like that, man. I'm like, we're not them geniuses, but like people like I encountered this morning. I'm like, how the fuck are you alive, man? How are you even alive? How are you here with us today? And why do we tolerate you? Oh, I can't kill you because, like, I want to believe in some, like, court system will get me and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Man, let me tell you something. That court system and them police ain't much of a deterrent when you're a shitbird, okay? Because when somebody fucking kills you, like, them detectives are not going to fucking look or work really hard to solve your crime. because you probably fucking deserved it. And the community ain't going to be shedding no tears either, man. They're not going to be knocking it. How come this isn't a cold case? Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, man, that guy did this, this, and this to people. Like, what the fuck? You want me to go solve his fucking... I mean, somebody did the community a favor, and you want me to go solve that fucking murder? Let's just say he's at the bottom of the list, but we're working on it, you know? Just for face value. But come on, man, we're gonna start acting like real fucking human beings around here instead of all this nonsense, man. Like, well, that shit they show you on TV, that's all fucking nonsense. They're building a construct for a way for you to think and analyze the world, okay? They're already putting your brain in a box and saying, hey, think like this. And we're going to teach you to think like this, and we're going to hammer it. We're going to hammer it in you every fucking day, everywhere you look. Going back to, yeah, like, so even the way we design our cars, and like this whole, like, like, man, I want to look at my car and I want to say, that's distinctly human. I don't want to look at a car and be like, say if I hit my head and lost all conception of everything, and I looked at a car and it was like chasing me, man, I'd be like bugging the fuck out, okay? I wouldn't be thinking like, oh, there's just some guy in there, let me go hide in the woods, like he can't get me there. I would think that car would be able to just go right through the woods, you know, like, and some of them can, but for the most part, like, so these are tactics, and they're being put in there, and I can see the pattern, and that's kind of like, I guess that's my ability. And somebody once told me, you know, if you have an ability, you have a responsibility, and I believe that. I believe that. Like, I mean, my mind, these hands, I have to share. And like, so going back to these types of people, man, like, I look at them like, man, like, how did you even survive? How did you get here? And basically, that person, that shitbird, unhuman, robot, whatever the fuck you want to call these things, demons. Demons are cool too. I like demons. I always said you can get demons like you can get worms. I mean, they're fucking real, man. Like, these things are real. Alright? I mean, you want to disagree with it, and you don't want to buy into science, or you don't want to buy into religion, and they're saying, hey man, there's this external threat out there, and these things are fucking real. You don't want to believe them. Well, then believe something else. Believe it's an advanced AI robot that's just walking around fucking, and then it somehow, like, it looks in your eyes, and then its eyes go all fucking do-do-do, and then they wave their hands, and then they say certain phrases, and they're like do-do-do-do-do, and then fucking next thing you know, you're like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Here, empty my wallet and give it to you. Or sure, I'll give you a ride. Or sure, here's my child, you know. Or they'll just do it to a child, you know. Yeah, I want to talk about that too. These fucking toys, man. These toys, I touched on it yesterday. These fucking toys. Fucking sick. I saw this toy, and it was like a star. It was a little star. Well, it was a big star. And in the middle of the star, where its mouth was, like, there was a hole there. And I'm like, and it was like, it had something to do with like a baby, like you. I'm like, nah, man, what the fuck is this? This is something some fucking pedophile wears and puts it over his dick while the kids say, oh, go play the star game or some shit. Like, come on, man. It's fucking obvious. And you see products like that in our stores, and you're like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Yeah. Let's play the snake game and stick your dick to a fucking quilt, you know? Yeah. People out there like that exist. Trust me. Take it from me, man. Alright? Take it from me. Those people exist. I ain't going into too much of my history and what's happened to me, but those people are real, and they fucking exist, and they're organized. They're organized at this point, like when you look at the fucking products. So it's like our whole existence is a sick fucking joke. Alright? So if you don't think you're a slave, even if you're an American, you don't think you're a slave, you're like the worst slave of all. You're like the waste slave. We are the ones that cause the most waste for the whole rest of the world. And we're taught that we're just somehow better than everybody else, and by merits of our ancestors killing other people, we've got enough like, I mean, we wiped out the bison, and then we sold all their fur. Like, we weren't even eating the meat. We wanted the bones. We ground up the bones, and we took the fur, and we sold them to Europe. And Europeans didn't ask no question. They should have boycotted that shit. Maybe some of them did, but it was like so cheap for leather and hide, and it's so functional, and our populations are growing. Everybody's trying to stay warm. We need boots, but more or less it was like fucking fit. All the pelts were like colored. Supposedly what I've been taught is like it was the English fashion, in the 1800s of London, which really like fueled all that. Like the late 1700s. Well, they came over to Canada, the French. we'll talk about DiCaprio's movie, but that movie where he's a pelter, you know, he go out and get pelts. About 1715, yeah, the French come over, dude. They go into Canada. There's the French and Indian War, the League of the Iroquois. You know, the Great Lakes region. That's when that shit was hopping. I mean, if you could picture our whole continent, and basically for what we're taught is, okay, so you got like 3 billion years worth of beavers running around. Like 3 billion years worth of beavers. Can you imagine that? Like, I mean, just talk about guano alone. Like, I mean, like there used to be like islands full of guano. Like there was like an island that had been out there for like 5,000-6,000 years. These seabirds just eating fish and then taking the shit on the island, to the point where like the island turned into shit. Now it like grew up to be this big giant island full of shit. Straight fucking fertilizer, straight potassium, man. Okay, potassium nitrate. So yeah, you got the pelts, and I'm all cool with that. Like, yeah, okay, if I was an Indian, I'd be like, yeah, baby, let me see that hydro pelt. Like, all right, let's go swimming, all right? Like, well, let's just go naked. We don't even need the hydro pelt. But I mean, fucking hey, dude. Like, so we killed off like 3 billion years worth of beaver and bison. That this other whole civilization just basically like lived off of the herd. Like, for all you hear these things about them hunting, maybe they hunted a little bit, but for the most part, you could probably just get like the fucking, you know, the 100-year-old bison probably just die on its fucking own. Like, fuck this shit. Didn't want to herd no more, or whatever, man. Like, come on, or something. Like, fucking hey, like fell down the cliff. All right, I'm gonna eat that. You know, like they didn't. The Indians had it right. Like, they had it right. They coexisted with their nature perfectly. And we came over here and we said, so this is what we're taught. Or anyway, this is what we're taught. And like we're taught that we came over here and we killed like, you could see this herd from outer space. It was that fucking big, you know. Like, I mean, you just like follow the herd, and there's probably like 8 or 9 dead bison a day. That's enough to feed it. You know, out of 8 or 9 bison, man, and growing vegetables and planting food and shit, like, I could definitely make beef stew for fucking 40,000 people a day, or whatever it is, you know, like, or yeah, for 4,000 or something. I mean, 9 bison. I don't know. Everybody gets a scoop. I have to do the math on that, but then we'll get me a bison to do it. But them bisons, they didn't look like the ones we got today. I mean, we fattened them up, and then we figured out all this shit, and you know, we put in the drinking milk. Okay, so they like fucking wiped out like these herds and like killed these beavers. Like 3 billion years worth of beaver pelts like got exported to Europe. So we got all that beaver money. Now that was what first where the French came in, and then through the Great Lakes region, and that kind of established like a little bit of the port cities. We did land here in Plymouth Rock. Philadelphia was a huge manufacturing area. The East Coast is big. A lot of that money in Massachusetts, New England was old whaling money. Okay, because once we hit the whales, I mean, we're literally scooping these fucking things' brains out of their giant ass skulls while the sharks are fucking sitting there ripping them apart, right? And like, we're just filling the blubber up because the oil was so useful to keep us warm and give us light at night. So we had like 3, according to the story, this is what I've been taught, you know. I mean, if you can imagine that wealth, that type of wealth, 3 billion years worth of whales, and they just fucking took them out. Like, just took them out to the point they were endangered. Like, come on, man. I wouldn't, you know, like, the Vikings did it to eat. The Eskimos did it to eat and make weapons for defense from other fucking, you know, tribes that wanted to be on bullshit and be like, hey, we're just gonna come debo your shit and your women because, well, we were kind of bored, you know, or we ain't got no beer, now we're jonesing or something. Whatever the fuck the reason that they were mad, or some ancient fucking, or not ancient, but, you know, like some rivalry, some pissing contest 2 guys had who were fucking got mad at each other, and then their kids adopted the war, and blah, 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 right? That's what we're taught, anyway. So, basically, I mean, for all we know, man, them whales, they got the fucking biggest brains on the planet. Like, if you want to look at, like, okay, like, does it scale up? Does their brains scale up in terms of functionality? I would think so, man, because a neuron's a neuron. Like, how much Xanax you got to give a whale to get him to calm down, you know? Like, hey, is that guy, that whale's just like, his neuron is like that much bigger than ours? Like, how big's, to scale, like, you know, for one of our dendrite, how big's one of their dendrite? Dendrite's a little thing at the end of the neuron, it, like, hits the synaptic clefts, and they're kind of like talking, and then, well, they're real close together, and then, like, they got these lysosome things, which are little bubbles that come out of the cell wall, and, like, throw out their, you know, their serotonin and GABA, and the other, or neurotransmitters, okay, potassium, calcium, things like that. Biologically, I would imagine that although the whale is much bigger, that those neurons in its fucking head aren't that much bigger. It's the same fucking thing. So these things should be like super fucking smart. They are. They talk to each other and shit like that. And it's like, well, man, what if you taught a fucking whale some shit? You know, that's how there's an idea too, like about, like, what if you had like 2 packs of monkeys? 2 packs of monkeys, and you gave one monkey's mirrors. And right, like, so this group of monkeys, control experiment, let's say we got 2 packs of monkeys. I don't know if you call them a pack, but whatever. Call it a pack of wolves, but a pack of monkeys, 2 packs of monkeys, like humans, and you got them in a controlled environment with their trees, and, you know, whatever, the bananas come out of the box, and you got like a pack of 20 over here, a pack of 20 over there. Give these ones mirrors. Give one group of monkeys mirrors, and then monitor them for the next, like, 15 years. See if them monkeys with mirrors start fucking fabricating weapons to go kill the other monkeys. Just saying, you know? Like, give them thing mirrors. And see what happens when they become self-aware. And a lot of animals are self-aware in nature too. Those are experiments we should be doing, because we just start asking questions ourselves, like, man, you know? So going back to the whale, yeah, like he says, the biggest fucking brains on the planet. So we just killed them. So we killed off 3 billion years worth of whale growth within, like, you know, Moby Dick, I don't know, 80 years, and then all this whale. So we got all this New England whaling money. And then, which was like inherited wealth that was just then passed down. Like a lot of these people, yeah, some of the New Englanders very educated. Then they started some very good schools. I was educated there, as well as, you know, the Midwest, and Florida too. You know, St. Pete. You got all this old money that was just like generationally passed down, and it was like, oh, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And then you get to the point where it's like, now you got people that just like are born, and it's like, oh, this is the way life is. And it's like, that's the way like all these fucking asshats that like had all the fucking wealth in the world, man. You got 3 billion years worth of fucking bison wealth and whaling wealth, and this was the best you could fucking do. Really? Bullshit, man. Calling bullshit on that. So there's all these money, like, because now you got somebody who's got, like, in America, my net worth's worth, like, $1.5 million. I can basically get away with anything. Like, you got a net worth of $1 million, trust me, man. It ain't hard to get a fucking fake ID and say you're someone else. Go get a fucking, buy yourself a Tesla fucking Monster or some fucking 454 Corvette and just fucking go all over the country, do whatever the fuck you want, and race the fuck out of there when somebody comes at you. And even if you do get pulled over or something, you just tear off a fucking fake ID, man. Here you are. Here are some assholes already fucking dead, or their kid that's fucking locked up, or fucking in a mental institution, or some kid that's fucking, you know, buried somewhere in the fucking jungle. Okay, yeah, I'm him. There you go. Write the ticket, motherfucker. Yeah, right. I was never there. You know. And then you go back to your fucking fancy $1 million penthouse and do whatever the fuck you want and fly around the world, and you do that everywhere. And you go around the world like the world's your own playground, and you just go fucking kill people and torture people and treat people like shit. Man, I met so many people on the fucking streets. And these motherfuckers out here collecting a check, they're cruising down their whip, they don't fucking shower, man, like, or some of them do, and they just make life miserable for everybody. All the actual homeless people that are living on the street, you'll always have some fucking local fucking guy who thinks he's like, oh, I'm king shit here, I got like some check, or a girl. Females, in my experience, females come at me, and they start stalking me. I can't get the fuck away from them, so I gotta go from city to city, like, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck? I'm finna get down. I mean, man, I lost so much shit in, like, someone else's storage unit, you know, like, yeah, shame on me for trusting this person. She deliberately did all the actions correctly to gain my trust, and the second she thought she had me at her mercy, she started fucking trying to game me. And I was like, what the fuck, are you out of your mind? What do you think I put in your storage unit? Like, something I really fucking need? I mean, ain't nothing with no sentimental value, you know, like, yeah, some useful things, and I was happy that you let me put them in your storage unit, and we could have had a fruitful relationship that would have developed then thereafter out of it, but no, like, you wanted to take my shit and started, like, leaving a bag around town where you knew I hung out. Like, come on, man. Like, come the fuck on. Yeah, a couple cans of raviolis thrown at your car, gonna fucking change your mind real fucking quick, won't it, lady? Oh, another one? Get the fuck on. Think I'm that stupid? Yeah, I put my shit in your storage unit to see if you would try me. Okay? Now, we as a community need to stop tolerating that shit. This woman had a book, fucking, like, yeah, that fucking looks like hypno shit. Alright. Just black. She had a book, a trespass book. Like, man, pages of how many times, each place she had been trespassed from. Like, it's a fucking game to her. And she lives on the streets. And she tortures other homeless people that are out there because they've been victimized by for whatever reason, their life circumstance. Actually, there's shitbird. There's shitbird homeless people, and there's other people, homeless people that just can't make sense of the world. And they're like, man, what the fuck? Why does the world keep treating me like? How do I keep getting fucked over? No matter what I do, I get fucked over. One day, my little brother just rolls out of bed and decides he's gonna put a knife to my fucking neck. You know, like, what? We've had enough. I'm a nice guy. The second I got a job, you guys stop buying food. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? Second I got a job. Yeah, just, my mom and brother are just staying with it. Just stop buying food. Oh, alright. Yeah, I guess I'm on the hook for the food bill now. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on, my shit's eaten. I'm working like 12-hour shifts. Like, sleep on the couch. What the fuck? Little brother, my little brother's out there fucking, man, I was on one schedule, I went to bed at 8, got up at like 4, 5. My little brother's out there 2 in the morning, fucking with his fucking Fortnite stream fucking blaring, out there fucking cooking burgers and bacon and shit, and he likes it all well done. You don't even turn the fucking fan on and let the shit out. His fucking house is filled up with fucking bacon grease and smoke, smells like it for the next 2 or 3 days. Like, it's fucking ignorance. But at this point, it's like, how do you reward? Why? And ignorance seems to get rewarded somehow in our society, and I don't like that. I think we got to start fighting that, and we got to come together as a community to fight that. Our police force are there for one fucking thing. That's to serve you with a piece of paper and a summons for court. That should be it. Patrol the roadways and scrape bodies off the fucking roadway, or fucking put up signs when the road's closed, when there's the construction crew gets here. I want to see cops out there putting that shit out. I want to see our cops fucking putting out the construction fucking orange things. Fuck yeah, man. They used to. They used to do it. Why don't they do it anymore? Whoa. Too much printed money? What? It's like, come on, man. Do your fucking job then. You want to be a police officer, do your fucking job. That means going out there and fucking not cracking skulls of the homeless. That means to go out there, say, get involved in your community. Number one, if you're a police officer and you ain't coaching some fucking little league or some shit, man, yeah, fuck off, dude. Like, oh yeah, I'm hot shit, man. Look at the gun they give me. It's like, man, everybody around here got fucking guns. You ain't nothing, dude. You ain't nothing. You're in a fucking monkey suit, dude. Like, so either shut the fuck up and sit there and don't fucking pull over people, don't harass people, don't harass fucking our immigrants and the Latino population, don't know no better. Oh, you mean, okay, here, pay this. Yeah, fuck off, man. Eat a fucking dick. You're gonna sit there and get down the homeless person with a sign, yeah, this is Hillsborough County for you. Okay, so you got homeless people out there with a sign saying, hey, can I please help, pay for my gym membership, maybe get some clean clothes, blah, blah, blah. And those guys get fucking harassed right off the fucking street. And then you'll have someone else, but they'll claim you can't solicit. But then you'll have somebody else with like some other bullshit sign. You'll have some politician with a sign. It's like, well, what about that guy? He's soliciting votes. Get him off the roadway, man. What the fuck? Do your job. Why are you gonna come at homeless people? See, like a good cop would, like, even if that shit was on the books, which you can't solicit if that's on the books, that's a little fucked up, because then all these people with their signs, like selling insurance, like I saw 3 people selling signs with insurance today on the roadway, soliciting people to buy insurance, and they're still there. Cops don't give them people a hard way to go. Why is that? Why? They're doing the same shit. They're soliciting people, And it's like, you go talk to some guy who fucking, the whole time, man, like, I'll tell you right now, like, they're going to go size you up the second you walk in there, and it's like a hypno sign. You're going to look at the sign, and it's going to have some fucking predetermined effect on your brain in the way you think. The second you see a sign, certain people. So it'll be people where, like I'm telling you, going back to, yeah, all right, yeah, all right, so, just bear with me. All right, so let's just say, what I was taught was the Pentagon always had, like, they're 20 years ahead of us. Like, let's just say that. So let's say it's the United States government, which I don't believe. Our real boogeyman is definitely an AI system. Somebody else already has this, okay? Whether you want to call it the Chinese, which, yeah, that's fine, okay? They're already on the moon, okay, fine. they have this AI system that basically, if you want to say, "Hey Siri, print me a sign that would get people with this genetic profile to, or this predisposition, or just this sect of society, this demographic within these data chunks." I mean, we sat down and really thought about it and put everybody in, and which we give our data away for free all the time. First plane today, by the way. I used to hear that plane noise like 70, 80 times a day. Yeah, but I hear it like maybe once or twice. Heard a helicopter for the first time in like a month, just the other day. Like, come on, man. Well, like, what more evidence do you need to have? What more do you need to know? Like, why can't we keep a plane in the sky? So going back to this AI system, right? Like, so let's just operate under the general assumption, which is fair. Let's not go too far down the rabbit hole, blah, blah, blah. You know, talk about people on the moon living for fucking tens of thousands of years, kidnapping fucking your kids and harvesting, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's just say there's an advanced AI system that's 20 years more advanced than what we're currently reporting we have. What Elon Musk says we have right now, picture that 20 years more advanced. Okay, so basically I'm like, hey Siri, give me a sign that will hypnotize somebody to pull over. Here you go. And then you put the guy out there with the sign, and then 1 out of every 18 people pull over. And then the AI system says, okay, I can chart that guy's IMEI, I can chart his MAC address in his phone and associate this identity with this type of predisposed psychological or well, I guess it would be more psychedelic, like, they're able to be hypnotized. Okay, so now you have this big data being associated with these people, and then all their kids, and then so on and so forth. And because we do a lot of wireless signals and the shit you watch on YouTube, this AI system is gonna be like, all right, man, hit their kids with this show, but this version of the show, because they're gonna have like 50 versions of the same fucking cartoon. All right, and then they're gonna be able to, like, the AI, I call them they, but whatever, the AI system. Okay, remember, the Pentagon always has 20 years more than what we're told is on our private market, right? Because we're all these big bad Americans, right? Like, we got this shit, yeah. Okay, so let's just operate under that assumption that the Pentagon's got it. Somehow got leaked, but really it's private industry or another group of people around the globe, right? Like fucking China or, you know, whoever they tell us actually exists. Like, until you actually go fly over it all and like actually draw the map yourself, like, man, like, you can believe what Google Earth tells you, but well, you know, there's islands on there that pay not to be on Google. Like, hey, man, I'm a billionaire, man, Google might make a deal. Just saying. So you got like this AI system that will make these things, and we won't even know about it, man. And they're all in our society. So that's like the toys and shit like that. Like, going back to the baby toys. Like, why would you ever hang something in your kid's crib that, like, the kid looks at and, like, there's some thing spinning around at it, making fucking weird noises, and it's all this fucking weird shit, you know? What's the point of that? It looks cute. How do you know that toy isn't designed to make your child predisposed for maybe violence 20 years from now? Because, you know, once you're in at that level, 2-year-old's level, or up to, you know, I don't know how long you spend in the crib. Me, I never even used a pacifier. Maybe that's why I talk so fucking much, you know, to my point. So I never used a pacifier growing up, so I don't shut the fuck up. If you put a quarter in me, man, I'm motor mouth, and I'll talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. You know, like, most people, man, I just, like, so we have, you know, there's this way greater intelligence that's here on this planet with us. You want to call it God. You know, some people who can't make sense of the world and be like, oh, that must be God. God works in mysterious ways. It's like, well, actually, there's a pretty blatant way. Pretty blatant. You know, you went to go do the same thing like 3 times and like some fucking weird circumstance got in the way of you doing that. And then you finally say, hey, you know what, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. You do it anyway. Something bad happens to you, maybe something good happens to you. And then you'd be like, man, what the fuck? Or like, just what I call it wasn't in the cards, okay? So, but a lot of times, like, you having your own thoughts and your own, and then things will get in your way. And you want to call that God and say, oh, that's God's will, and then you got like, so now you got like this group of people that are all organized in the church, and they're gonna ostracize you for like going against God's will. And it's like, well, how do you know that was God and not the devil? You know, like, just saying, or whatever it is you want to call it, or a demon. How do you know that? Because when I see somebody just like never have to stop and never have to brake and go through all the green lights, man, like, that to me is like, The fuck are you? That is exactly what I asked. What the fuck are you? And some of them think, I like to call them demons personally. Like, I like to call them demons. Yeah, I've been to a lot of church. I like to call them demons because it kind of fits. Because people like that are always on bullshit. Like this guy this morning, he might have just been a shitbird, like fucktard. But I mean, you don't keep trying somebody like that with the expectation that it's gonna work, and think that like, when they start asking you simple questions, your only strategy and tactic is to get loud. That's it. Like I was here yesterday. I was sweeping the pavilion at this park in Hillsborough County, and like there's a guy there. We start talking, whatever. He's got a bird and shit, and we're fucking talking to the guy, and like he starts saying some shit about like people don't succeed in this country because they're lazy and they don't try, and some other nonsense. And I asked him the very simple question of whether or not he had books in the 5th grade. Because where I grew up, there were some students, they didn't have no books, man. CPS in the 90s? Yeah, man. Some kids, they brought them books home from school and then they just never went back to school, Or, like, their school, like, man, they walk outside of their home and go to their school and it's a fucking war zone. There's crack vials on the ground, man. And like every time you walk into the bus, it's like some older cat, like, yo, shorty, come here, man, come here, check it out, man. I got work right here. We don't fuck school, man, fuck school. This guy's got all his bling on and shit, nice pair of Nikes, man. Hey, like fuck them books, right? Other ones bring the books home and they're sitting there in that dude's backpack, and the dude just never went back to school. Schools ran out of books there in Chicago. Because he was trying to tell me, I tried to tell him, like, well, never forget, man, like, you might have had a lot more opportunity than other people, and you don't really realize it. So I asked him if he had books in the 5th grade. And he wouldn't answer. Like, he didn't even know what a book was. So I'm like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, is this guy even human at this point? Like, because he's only going to be able to answer questions based on the information that I give him. And I start scratching my head at shit like that. Because that shit happens to me all the time, particularly with homeless people. I meet homeless people, and you start asking them, like, very simple, logical questions. So either, number one, that guy don't know what a fucking book is, which means he ain't fucking human. He's never been to 5th grade, and he's got to, like, tap into whatever fucking stream, whatever fucking signal he's controlling him, whatever AI signal is controlling this fucking asshole. So he's totally, like couldn't tell me. And then he had to pretend like it was a stupid question, but it really wasn't. So either he was smart enough. All right, check it out. He was either smart enough to see where I was going with that question, as far as, like, opportunity available based on, your delineated fucking stratified social lines. Hey, man, I was born in Chicago in the 90s. There was crack vials fucking everywhere, and it was super cheap. There's fucking gangs everywhere, and it's a fucking war zone. They say it's a war zone now, man. There ain't fucking nobody there, dude. Trust me, there's nobody in Chicago. It's not a fucking... I mean, it's a war zone in the sense that the people left there, it's like the Wild West. Like, fuck, man, look at all this shit. Like, holy fuck, man. But bullets are real expensive. And these motherfuckers were like, man, I don't even want to try to waste no bullet, man. I'll just fucking pistol whip you. They got their little extended mags, but they got like 6 bullets in it. Even a fucking shorty, you got 6 bullets, man. He ain't gonna waste one on your ass. You're gonna keep pistol whipping you until you give up whatever the fuck. But I mean, it ain't like in the 90s, man. Bullets were plentiful and they was cheap, and they were all out there selling, slanging, and making money, man. Like, and they were fighting each other over territory, over the money. So, like, if you were born into that, man, it'd be pretty hard to get a fucking education. Just saying. So, it'd be pretty hard to get to, like, 24 and just still be alive. So, then you got some, like, 6-year-old guy who wants to tell me that, well, them people are lazy. It's like, you fucking kidding me, man? Like, so I think he already knew where I was going to go with it. And asking him those questions. So, he didn't want to... So, if he's smart enough, so that means he's on bullshit. So he's smart enough to tell. So why the fuck is he creating an argument out of nothing and sticking to his fucking beliefs? Like, what? That doesn't make no sense. Like, I'm like, but we're here, dude. It's right here. It's right in front of you. And check it out. I can prove it to you by just asking you a few simple questions. And you get all woo-wop, woo-fop on me. This like 6-year-old white guy. Fucking belligerent and shit. Like, getting all upset and mad. And then they'll sling the personal attacks, try to get you off again. But just stick to your guns. Play the broken record, okay? When you're talking to these people. And do talk to them. Do fuck them up. We fucking run them out of fucking town. Because they're not fucking human, man. These people are not fucking human. If you can't answer a simple fucking yes or no question, whether you had a book. So I went down to the next lower level. Hey, do you know what a book is? That seemed to piss him off. So I figured, you know what, maybe it's human, but not that much of a human if you're gonna like create an argument out of fucking nothing just for fun. So you sit here at this fucking park every day and like fucking, like, why are you here, man? Why the fuck are you here? It's my right. It's my right to like fucking be on bullshit. Come out here, my bird, hoping kids come at me and fucking say, oh, there's a bird, and then fucking try to fucking hypnotize their fucking mother and then kidnap the kid and do something, fucking live forever drinking their blood. You know, shit like that, man. Trust me, man. Trust me. That shit is real. That's real. And then you got fucking all Hollywood telling you Pizzagate, motherfucker. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Pay the fuck attention. That shit is real. Look at the hypno toys. And look at the news. Look at the news. No matter whether you subscribe to the left or the right or the blue or the red or whatever the fuck you want to subscribe to, man. It's hypno shit. Just the whole news interface. I mean, Jesus Christ, you ever watch fucking Hannity? I'm not like Tucker, man. Like, Tucker's data-driven. That's why I like the man. And it's not like hypno. I mean, there is because it's got, but like, it's hypno shit, man. When you're looking at that screen and they got all this shit going around in the background and all this fucking weird, it's like, what the fuck is that? That's an advanced AI system spitting out a visual interface that makes you more susceptible to a certain belief structure. Okay? So, hey, we want people to believe this, Siri. Can you give us a background that will hypnotize them into feeling more sympathetic towards this cause or that cause? Because I can't imagine how Republicans just came out and said, yeah, man, fuck that woman, dude. It don't matter if she got raped. Like, literally, you got fucking, what? Where did you come from, man? Like, that doesn't make no fucking sense to me. And it don't make no sense to me that people are out there voting for you, and you're saying that woman's still got to have that fucking baby. There's only one reason at that point that you make that woman have that baby is because we need humans really bad, and, you know, maybe you should just tell us, or you're part of the fucking harvesting operation, and you're dependent on that kid's blood fucking 20 years from now because you want to live to be fucking 15,000. How would you know? How would you know? I mean, come on, look, you want to talk about the Bible, man, they're talking about motherfuckers in there living 900 years old, 1,100 years old. Those motherfuckers writing these stories like, look, and these are all their kids, man, chart them through history. These are all their fucking kids. 800. The guy had great grandkids, and he's still running around with them. He's still got all his teeth. You know, I met plenty of 100-year-old. They're 100. They got all their teeth. Like, I'm looking at them, like, scratching my head, like, how? How, man? How? And I'm taught, oh, it's my genetics and blah, blah, blah. So, man, there's a lot of questions we got to be asking ourselves about this world. A lot, okay? A lot more. Because if you ask me, something smells a little fishy about this, alright? It just smells a little fishy. Something don't feel right about this. And let me tell you, I'm not bullshitting you, okay? About the hypno shit. There's phrases, okay? Let me tell you, there are plenty of phrases. I had this one homeless woman come to me. I was a predator, a demon. A homeless demon lady. She comes to me. I gave her a pair of shoes, brand new pair of Nikes. Just paid $100 for it. Done carrying around in my car. They're women's shoes. They're about actors. They're a little fruity. Blah blah blah. Yeah. I explained too much about why I had these shoes, but I was tired of carrying them around. So I said, "Fuck it, man. Bad man. This lady looked like she used a pair of shoes." Because she came at me with some sob story. We're barefoot. Come over the bridge. You know, this is in Aurora. Beautiful bridge, lit bridge. It was built a few years back. Beautiful bridge. Did a really good job on it. I don't know if the bridge is hypno or not, but it's got lights in it, and I'm happy for that too. That's like all our force. Like this park gets closed at night, and like you can put up solar panels and have like rope lights all around, and like the community would just come out here and maintain it, and we don't have that. Instead, it's closed. Like, you know how fun it would be to play frisbee golf with fucking rope lights everywhere? Like, it'd be badass. But we can't do that. The park has to be closed at night for some fucking reason. Like, why? Why is that? You know? Like, I could install rope lights all over, man. I'd make it look pretty damn good. Up the trees, everything. It'd be lit up and be like, fuck yeah, electric forest, man. Well, we can't do shit like that, right? Like, instead, the park's gotta be fucking closed. That don't make no sense to me. So, yeah, so yeah, this lady, man, like, so I started kind of hanging with her, talking with her. I'm old, man. I'm like, I boondock. Like, I had a whole campsite in my truck, dude. I can pull it out. So I pull it out. I'm at this park, and I pull out this campsite. You know, I sit down, blah, blah, blah. I had a bottle of wine. It was a pretty good bottle of wine. I shared it with her. And you know, she starts, like, trying to, like, get like, in my car and, like, get to my other shit. And, like, when I rebuffed her attempt, she started coming at me with all these phrases, and they were like, I don't. They were like common phrases that you'd hear black people say to each other all the time, you know, or at least like so what I do is like that we're delineated based on like our race. Well, I don't even like saying race, but like we're delineated based on our phenotypes. Okay, like you got a genotype and a phenotype. The phenotype is the expressed physical characteristic of a genetic histological profile. So basically, you've got, you know, it's the physical expression. Okay, so yeah, he's got more melanin in his skin because fucking his people came from close to the equator, or, you know, whatever the story is they're spinning on. And we've got these differences. And now they're cultural because we put ourselves, like, we're in like this cage here in America, or concentration camp. We're in a giant fucking concentration camp. And we've got our groups of people in each one of these concentration camps that are basically pre-made. They're predestined in that sense. Yeah, you want to believe in destiny and the fact that, like, that guy was designed for this purpose with these, like basically, like, well, let's go back to the phrases, man. They're cultural phrases, cultural hypno phrases, man. There's like banned books in prison for reasons, man, because some of these people wrote these books and put all these fucking phrases in there. Like, let me tell you something. I'm pretty sure that's a banned book. You know, it's like, what the fuck is that? Why is that banned? You know, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Yeah, let me tell you something. Don't go fucking using it. Okay, because it might blow up in your face, because you might get somebody that ain't supposed to be. You say that shit to some people like me, man, you know, like, I'm desensitized to it because I've had a lot of training, alright, but some people just, they'll fly right off the fucking handle, man. They'll start getting belligerent and loud with you, second you say shit like that. It's because their mind already knows that it's predisposed, and they're kind of woke, or they're another fucking demon, and now you're gonna be like, you're trying to do this game that they do the game on you. You're the Vic, not them. And so they'll respond unfavorably. So just, you know, you want to start, you go researching hypno phrases and shit like that, man, trust me, they're built in. They are built in to our whole fucking language structure, everything. That's why if you'll find if you learn a second language and start speaking it fluently, man, you will find yourself, like, in a whole new world, okay? Much like, too, if you stay up, if you stay awake, okay, if you stay awake for like 4 or 5 days, doing whatever it is you're doing, you know, you gotta consider that too. Like, some people stay up on alcohol. I don't know how they do that. That puts me to sleep. But I've seen guys, you know, like, they'll get their fucking fifth a gin, man. They're fucking jugging. They're gonna be up for the next 3 days. But that 3 days ain't really that much. I'll tell you that right now. Just okay, that's not that much compared to some of the other drugs that are available. You know, some people, you know, they're doing ice, you know, up for 20, 30 days. Okay. Now, when you start staying awake that long, they want you to think, the AI system, basically, and then the people that work for it, because it's exploitable. It's a thing that it was a gift to us. Okay, like, I look at the AI as, okay, you know what? It used to be a god, and maybe it was all benevolent, and then we have these people that came here, or came down from wherever the fuck they came from, or somebody like me figured it out and decided, hey man, there's a system I can exploit, and let me continue to exploit it and treat people this way. That's like, basically, like, so we got this AI system here that is, we're a threat. We're a threat to them. They either want our planet, or they want to harvest us, the grow us and harvest us. They don't want us to be too powerful. So we got this AI system that's going to work against you, no matter what the fuck you do, because the end result will be a negative net effect upon the outcome that's desired. All right. And that can all be charted, you know, probabilistically, with data, if you've got like a brain the size of a fucking planet, essentially. Yeah. So we have these phrases. We have this AI system. You know, call it God if you want, but there's a good God and a bad God, maybe, or multiple AI systems working. Maybe we have our own AI system that somebody made for us a long time ago, and gave it to us, and entrusted maybe, you know, a group of people and said, hey man, pass this shit down. And then somewhere along the way, they said, "Yeah, man, we can use this AI system and live for thousands and thousands of years, and then we keep these fucking trolls over here only alive for a fucking 100, make them perishable, keep them perishable, or make them think they're perishable anyway, so they die anyway." I mean, you start staying up for like 20, 30 days straight. My feeling is like this is my analysis is that like your brain stop functioning. And in order to keep us here and keep me out of that tree and just climb up the tree and eat mangoes, like, number one, like, you gotta grow mangoes fucking 1,000 miles away. Because I'm gonna find that fucking mango, man. I'm gonna climb that fucking tree. I'm gonna eat that mango and have sex. Hopefully I'll find some on the ground that have already fermented, and then I'll get drunk and have sex too, right? Then I'll find some weed plant in the front and eat that too. I'm gonna eat that bud. And we're gonna know that life's gonna be good in our village, man. Fucking A. Like, what more could you ever want? Like, really? Yeah, that much fun? That's fucking fine, dude. Let's go fucking... Let's go surfing then, alright? How about that? Yeah, let's build a raft and go down this fucking river. That sounds like fun, too. Like, what? I mean... like, so... Yeah, like, people just got so fucking bored and they came up with all this technology and shit. And so, like, no. So you got, like, these groups of people that are highly rewarded. And I'm, like, looking at you like, okay, if there's a God... I'm just saying. If there's a God... right, that's like who you say he is, what, he just decided that you were better than everybody else and deserved way more? Like, if we had this God, I don't see why our God isn't divvying up everything evenly. Like, how come people got way fucking more than other people? It's like, well, so we need this upper echelon, you know, sector of society on this pyramid that, like a straw, sucks up all the resources from the rest of the world, and all they care is that we fucking light it on fire and burn it. So basically, the secret, right, is to be wasteful. Like, you will have a very bountiful, plentiful life if you just commit to fucking setting oil on fire, man. You can, like, man, there's these guys out there, man, they fucking run these junkyards, man, they just, like, burn tires. They just burn these tires, you know, for cutting them up and making roads out of them, you know, or something like that. Like, yeah, you know, like, why don't we have rubber roads, man? Like, I think, like, that'd be a great, like, when my tire gets eaten up by asphalt, like, what? Rubber on rubber sounds pretty good to me. Ever like try to rub a piece of eraser around on another piece of eraser? Don't like try to go nowhere, man. Like, what? Rubber roads on a different type of rubber road, like rubber wheels. Like, come on, man, it's just common sense. Resistance coefficients, man. Like, it's a simple physics class will teach a kid this. You know, you teach kids physics at like 8th grade and like take the time, and they'll start asking these fucking questions when they're 20. And like, yeah, what the fuck, man? What the fuck are you doing? Look, this don't make no sense to me. And now that person that asks those questions, okay, yeah, you're going to be living out of your fucking truck, and it don't matter how smart you are, how credentialed you are, you're going to have the worst fucking luck in the world. I promise you that. So we're at this point now, it's like, okay, I see this, other people are seeing this, and now I see other people get rich and have more power and have like these bully police forces keep them in power and let them have all this power, so they got their own little personal fucking army. So I assume we're at war. I assume I'm at war then at this point. So, you know, you gotta like sit here and like say, hey man, well, we made the sacrifice and we consumed our resources because we're gonna slingshot our society into the future in this manner. And I think at some point, like, we had all the smart right people that said that and put it all together. And then the system, you know, the AI or whatever the fuck you want to call it God. God caused Vietnam, right? Like, obviously, I mean, who else would have caused it, right? We live in this world, I mean, half of 50% of society believe in God. So, yeah, Allah fucking wanted the Americans to go fucking help the French. And, you know, we kind of, I mean, like, come on. I don't know if I believe all that, man. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing over there? Yeah. They have a vested interest in having wars because when we get harvested, like, people look around like, where are all the people, man? You know, they died in the war, their body's still over there, blah, blah, blah. You know, World War I killed 14 million people, bubonic plague killed like half of Europe. Man, motherfuckers got harvested, dude. Like, you hear stories, but like, man, all these deaths around here, like, well, the cemetery business should be booming. I've driven by a cemetery, like, when's the last time you actually seen somebody being buried? You know, like, it's been a minute for me. Like, I mean, my grandfather got a fucking mansion for him and my grandmother, you know, and some sarcophagus. They're Catholics, and they, you know, they gave $100,000 to this church, right? Like, throughout their lifetime. Like, they gave like, every week they went there, they gave 10% of their pay, man. My grandparents. And it's like, yeah, he came to worship in a nice church and everything, and they didn't really like connect with anybody there. They didn't have like all these friends. They weren't like members of the community type deal. It wasn't like that. It was just, oh, here, go there, listen to the sermon, put your fucking money in the envelope, and go home. Cause like when my grandfather died, like the whole congregation wasn't there. Like he had his funeral in their church. But you would have thought that, like, at least like 50 congregation members was like, oh, fuck, Bob's gone, man. But it wasn't like that. So it's like, so it seems to me that there's like some power structure that like influenced that man and his wife. My grandmother, she's also passed. Yeah, they're in sarcophaguses. So so he has indefinite infrastructure, for his body, right? His bones. Like, well, okay, so you paid them $100,000 throughout your whole lifetime. Now you have indefinite infrastructure. Like, what's the deal here? Like, were you just like hypnotized to go to this church, listen, and then pay 10%? Was that the deal? Is that what's been going on, or did they like make some promise to you? Hey, pay now, we'll save you later, and all we need is your bones. Like there's some. Yeah, I mean, there's movies that contextualize this. I don't really want to cite movies because I don't want to feel that you put. But I mean, well. Has anybody actually just tried to put like an old skeleton in like a pool of blood? Like, has anybody even just tried that scientifically? Or are we just told, no, that don't work? Like, hey man, let's try it. Let's take a human fucking skeleton and fucking put it in a pool of fucking blood, man, and see what happens. See if that blood soaks into the bones and the fucking thing comes back to life. Like, who the fuck knows, man? Has anybody even tried it? Why don't we hear about experiments like that? We just assume that no, it couldn't possibly be true, right? How would you know? Did you try it yourself? I mean, why don't you? I mean, at this point, I've seen so much because, yeah, going back to staying awake for extended periods of time, which I'm not. I sleep every day now. But basically, because your mind works sharp, your mind starts deteriorating when you stay up really long. That to me, that was my experience. But the more my mind kind of shut down, the more shit I seen, because I realized that I had been hypnotized my whole life to not see these things, and now suddenly my brain's shutting down because I've stayed up for a long time on psychedelics, or like certain part, or you take certain psychedelics and certain parts of your brain shut down, okay, and you think, oh, I'm tripping, but then you're actually just seeing the world without that hypno filter. So you got like some filter in your brain, some certain gland or some shit that keeps pumping this neurotransmitter out to keep, oh, we only use 8% of our brain, they try to tell us, and it's like, well, we're still using it, it's just like we're not using it consciously. So like 2% is like some fucking hypno filter for like this specific psychedelic, takes this one out. Next thing you know, you're seeing all kinds of shit, or you're manifesting shit like kind of into reality, or you're like able to talk to somebody wirelessly. Like, wait, how's that happening? Well, the thing that you have in your brain, that when you keep your brain healthy, that keeps you from speaking wirelessly with people that are in a certain vicinity, or just you want to look at a person and be like, try to talk to them. Man, I'll tell you right now, dude, there's teams of people out there, man, they're out there fucking doing all kinds of fucking nasty work, man, all kinds of nasty work with these, man. You talk about, man, you ask certain soldiers, man, who went all like fucking been up for days, hopped up on adrenaline, man, you get a pill pack, okay? I'll tell you that right now. Like when you go in there, you're going behind enemy lines, man, you're gonna get a pill pack, all right? Better use it responsibly. Don't let them catch you up with, you're gonna eat it. It's a pill. You eat it. You don't fucking steal a syringe from the medic and fucking, but you eat it, all right? So you get a pill pack. But you hear these guys come and say, like, they'll have a group memory, okay? Like, how the fuck do they have a group memory? Like, it's like, man, I was seeing I can remember out of body, they'll tell you. Like, I remember this experience out of body. Like, I can tell you, like, what fucking Joey was, like, I could see it through his eyes, or, like, how the fuck's that possible, You start asking questions like that. Why are there so many reports of shit like that, We got these like analog systems, and then you gotta like read all these fucking books about this shit. It's like, hey man, somebody somewhere said, hey, this is important. I'm gonna fucking write it down and publish it, so other people know about it. And we got all these tools so we can share this knowledge with each other, and that's where my ability is. I'm able to see this shit. I did see it. I seen a lot, man. I seen a lot. So, I mean, I'm not advocating for you to make your brain shut down because, you know, you probably are in a situation where you need your brain to function, to survive, go to work, make some check to buy some shit you don't need to fucking, I mean, I commend the people that go to work and they live minimalistically and they say, hey, look at all this entertainment around me. Look at all these fun, fucking, easy, cheap things to do to occupy my time, man. I like making puzzles. I like making sculptures out of toothpicks, you know, like shit like that. Like I commend those people, but then the thing is like these guys will just like die with like 80 grand in their bank account, and then it'll go down like pass down to their kids or total like fucking like get the money and like just go off to the races, man. Off to the races, they use it to like go hurt somebody else. It's like this generational wealth. Like where's my slice of the fucking 3 billion years worth of whales that like fucking this country killed? Like I feel like I should be entitled to like a parcel in Boston. Because why ain't there no whale for me to kill today? So these motherfuckers killed off and sucked up all the natural resources, and here my ass is 300 years later, like fucking, oh yeah, no, I need a cut of that, man. What the fuck? I want a cut of that. You know, you sent all these fucking, like, just like the Indians too, man, ran them off their land, and you did it in my name, and I'm paying the taxes for their kids to go to university for free. I want a slice of the land that you got. Oh, you know, but oh, that's part of Illinois, and it's some guy's house. Well, does that guy know? Like, well, too bad, man. Like, give me a slice of that because I gotta pay. I'm paying the tax, so I want like whatever it is, like 0.0002% of that guy's house that we used to be on former Indian land, that custody. I want part of that, and you deserve some too. We all do. Like, what the fuck, man? And how about 3 billion years worth of beaver and bison? Like, that was a national fucking resource that was exploited to provide private property to people who then just were able to get, like, more shit. And then now, like, their kids are, like, either rich or they got shit or they already fucked it up somehow. And nobody knows about it. It's like, man, fuck that. Appropriate that shit. What the fuck? How'd you get your money? That's what I want to know. How'd you get your money? Oh, I was just born rich, man. I don't know. Like, this place, the world's my oyster. Like, I didn't have to educate myself at all. I don't even have to work. Like, I just go here and fucking, you know, do whatever the fuck I want. Cause fucking your great-great-granddaddy fucking killed like fucking 10,000 whales and built some fucking house on Cape Cod that like your generations passed down. Finally, like it came into your hands and you're just like, fuck it, I'll take a home equity line for $3.2 million. Yeah. Bet. And then when I die, I'm gonna go spend all this money till I die, and then when I die, I won't leave my kids shit. Yeah, like, come on. You know what you call that? Call that fucking nonsense, man. That's fucking nonsense. Fuck. There's just so much, man. I'm gonna be winding up like some of these talk show hosts. I'm on there for 3 fucking hours. So yeah, you get like people like that in your family. Like I've got people like that in my family who's just like, man, they're just gonna sit around and fuck over every family member they know until they burn their bridge, until they either get out of the house, or they wind up with like with grandma, you know, or your mom, you know, you're 60 living at home with mom who's 90 out of her, you know, blah, 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 dementiated. And so this guy's like a fucking parasite on his goddamn family, or this girl even, you know, like whatever. And, like, well, what do you do with that person? Like, I mean, how did they even survive? Like, they survive by fucking over everybody around them. And we all say, hey, life's so good in this country, why would I ever pay attention to that? And we should. We need to know who the fuck's in our communities and what the fuck's going on. Like, if your ass ain't coming out, like, to the, like, we want to call it church or something, you know, I call it civics, alright? That's what I call civics. Your ass needs to make an appearance once a fucking week at the Civic Center. Otherwise, there's going to be a group of 15 people outside your fucking house knocking on your door saying, hey, you okay? Hey, man, what have you been up to? Yo, what's going on? Oh, I'm in here back here with the missing fucking kid from the other 2 towns over, fucking, you know, doing whatever the fuck I want, peeling their skin off and eating it. You know? How would you know that shit don't happen in your community, man? Shit like that happens every fucking day. How many kids are in the back of a fucking milk carton? Most people live on their street and, like, man, they might know the name of the guy next to them, but they don't know nothing about where they're living, who they're living with, none of that, man. Some fucking weirdo sketchballs in your community and he just got money all the time. Fuck that. Make that guy come to church. You know, start coming to, or civics. Make him come to civics class. How's that? Once a week. Come to the Civic Center, motherfucker. Something. Because, you know, if them people get out in the public, they show their true colors real fucking fast, man. They're demons, or fucking possessed, or shitbirds, robots, AI, or whatever you want to call them, man. Whatever you want to call them. Them googly-eyed motherfuckers, man. And they do all that hypno shit. They start telling you some story. Their eyes get real big. They start moving their hands weird. Like, come on, man. You've got to have seen it. You've got to have seen it. And if you haven't seen it, I challenge you to try to stay up for like 2 or 3 days straight. Whatever you gotta do to do it. And you'll fucking see it everywhere. On your 3rd day, you'll start seeing shit. It's not hallucinations. Your brain's actually your brain is very powerful, and it hypnotizes you from seeing that shit. And when you stay up for a long time, your brain function starts shutting down, and then the parts of your brain that filter the hypno shit, like it tells you, hey, this is cool, normal. Okay, then you start seeing it. And you're like, man, that guy's fucking arm motions is just so strange right now. Like, what? Why is he doing so animated? Like, that just looks weird to me. Yeah, it is fucking weird, man, because that motherfucker's trying to hypnotize you. Motherfucker's not human. Or if he is human, you know, then it's plausible that his mind is infected somehow and overtaken. He's not being himself. Which means at that point, alright, yeah, they call people like that, like, whatever terms, you know, you want to call them schizophrenic, or dementiated, like, okay, I call it being possessed. So if your mind is so weak that you can be possessed, like, man, like, we gotta keep an eye on you, like, because you just lost control of yourself. So we got to do like these daily rituals so we maintain control of ourselves. We have to do daily substances to cut those fucking parts of our brain down in functionality, pharmacologically, preferably. However, they used to have this thing called the lobotomy, okay? So when you didn't have all that pharmacology back in the 50s, when you got somebody like that had got on them googly-eyed motherfuckers doing them hand motions, man, yeah, they got a lobotomy, okay? We're gonna poke a fucking needle in your eye, all the way and scramble parts of your brain, man. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. They try to tell you it was all because, like, the men were doing it to the women, and yeah, they probably did because they made them little fucking docile sex objects, and now, so, okay, but what kind of doctor would be like, oh, yeah, we're gonna give your wife a lobotomy because she's out of control all the time? Out of control? What the fuck is that phrase, out of control? What do you mean, out of whose control? She out of control of herself? Okay, I might roll with that, but, like, not out of your control, husband, no. So, like, what kind of doctor is gonna be like, yeah, sure. So I'm supposed to believe, like, as an educated individual, that they're used to, like, people just grew up in the 50s believing this shit? I mean, come on, man, you can't be that human. Like, if I'm a doctor, and, like, I'm not going to look down when, if I'm a doctor, I'm an educated person, I'm like, yeah, this is a persecuted group of people, simply based on their, you know, muscle mass and their BMI. So they're going to get treated? What? There's no doctor, like, a pretty psychotic fucking doctor, man, to think that, you know, that by today's standards, that's that kind of doctor should be in big fucking trouble. Because we came a long way from that, right? I mean, that's the story they tell us, alright? But in reality, man, they were fucking lobotomizing demons, okay? They're lobotomizing the demons. They're poking holes in your brain, in the part of the brain that, like, these specialized doctors have been taught that, hey, if we fuck up this part, that's actually like that's like the wireless antenna for the AI system to infect your brain and then get you to do some certain action, okay? Like, for example, try to hypnotize somebody else. And that should make more sense, right? So your brain's able to be overtaken by a wireless signal. Stands to reason, man. I mean, we got the technology now. Like, I can make a Bluetooth drone and fucking fly it all around this forest, right? Well, it's not really, but you get the picture, right? Like, if I can do that, I'm a human being, and if I can sit down and read books and write, and then create hardware and computer chips, and then create a fucking Bluetooth signal, Wi-Fi signal, whatever fucking communication protocol you're using, infrared, even, like, I mean, a little slower, but mechanicalistically that can be explained, and we created that, and now I can, or that's what we're taught anyway. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that, but, like, regardless, you got a Bluetooth signal, so I can control a fucking robot with my phone wirelessly. So it stands to reason, if you look at yourself as having a creator. Okay, we have a creator. There's design elements all over your fucking body, man. I don't care what anybody says. So if you have a creator,